and I'm happy to be here with everybody. Before Chris starts doing his mindset training, which is always amazing, I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys a little bit about vendor events. And I think I've been getting a lot of questions about them lately, or at least this week, because it was mentioned at convention that I've done a lot of them. So everybody's been hitting me up, but there's no time like the present to talk about them. I'm going to be very brief in what I say. But when I mean there's no time like the present, this is the time to get out there, because this is the time where we have vendor events going on like crazy for the holidays. There's always a bunch of a clump of vendor events that happen in the beginning of the fall, Christmas time, the holiday time, and then in the springtime. So now is the best time to get out there. Like I said, I'm going to be brief on this because I could talk about this for a long period of time. I'm just going to give you guys the basics on how to get started when going to get yourself involved in some vendor events. And if you guys want to, shoot me any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer. I also have like a one-sheeter that I could put into the Daily Dose of Happy group. So you guys have it. It's just like pointers and things that I use as a check off when I do vendor events. Now, obviously, because of the pandemic that we've had for the last 2 years, I haven't done them in 2 years, but the gist is still the same. So why do you want to do vendor events? Well, there's a couple. Well, for me, there's 3 reasons. One, it gets you out into your cold market, right? You're not sitting there talking to people that you already know in your warm market. You're not on social media, like asking your friends to buy from you. So that gets you out into your cold market. The other reason is it expands your network and it helps you to get an email list. I'm very big on email lists. It helps you to collect names and meet with people and expand your network. And the last reason is it gets samples into people's hands. And that's a big one, right? We want people to try our products. And this is a way to get it into people's hands who've never seen us or met us before, right? And when you're at a vendor event, the first thing that I like to do is put a sign up by the front door that says you have coffee, because everybody wants coffee. So that's one tip to do. I'm not going to go into like crazy detail on how to set up and do things like that, but I want to give you guys some questions to ask if you are going to venture out and do some vendor events. Sometimes people go and they just think you set up a table and that's it, but there's a lot of thought that should go into it if you want to make money from it. So the first question you should ask if you're going to do a vendor event is, what is the size of the booth or the table, right? It sounds simple, but a lot of times people go in the table is. And I'm going through my notes because this way I'm not missing any of these questions. The next is, how much does it cost? Could you guys hear me? Because I'm in Florida and I get it's unstable all the time. And I apologize if I'm going in and out.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So the next thing is, how much does it cost, right? Now, depending on how big the event is and how many people is expected at the events, that's how they charge. And it's crazy. Sometimes you may get a table for $25. I've paid upwards of $3,000 for some events. Okay. So it really depends on, I know everybody's like, whoa, but guess what? That event that I paid $3,000 for, 40,000 people walk through. So you get what you pay for. So that's why I'm telling you guys, these are the questions that you have to ask when you are doing vendor events. How much does the booth cost? Do you have to provide your own table? Some events will allow you to take your own table. Some give you a table, some give you 2. And you want to know the size of the booth or the size of the area that you're going to have and the size of the table that they're providing, because it may not be big enough for what you're doing. Okay. You want to know how many people are expected to be at the event. Like I said, I spent $3,000 on an event a couple of years ago. 40,000 people walk through legitimately. So that was worth it. The money that we spent on that event was worth it. So you want to know how many people are going to walk through. You want to know, included in that, do you get the email list of the people that walk through? That's very important because you want to have the contacts. Even if somebody did not go to your booth, you want to be able to contact everybody that was at the event. So find that out. Find out if there is electricity provided. If not, you have to figure out what to do with maybe some thermoses, because we're supposed to give out samples, right? And then you want to know if pipe and drape is included in it as well, because that's important. You know, the pipe, the pipe that holds all the draping behind you, as well as what kind of advertising is included. So they don't just give you a price and say, okay, this is it. You just come and show up. There's a lot of things that should be included in the price that they're giving you. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys about booking vendor events. Now, a couple of things about actually being at the event. There are many times that I give out samples. Well, all the time I give out samples in little espresso cups for people to get a little bit of the taste and walk around a little bit, but I also sell cups of coffee. So you want to generate some income back, whatever you're paying out, right? You don't want to be in the red, you want to be in the black. So whatever you're paying out for these vendor events, you want to generate some money back. I never go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to sell, to 500 people today. I go into it thinking, how many connections am I going to make with this vendor event, right? And again, for me, it's more along the lines of building my email list and my network, right? So that's how I do that. A big thing is, like I said, selling the coffee, because if you have a sign outside and people are walking around and they're shopping at a flea market or a little vendor show, whatever it is, and they're drinking a cup of coffee, there's a very good chance that they're going to come back and buy more from you. So I do keep product on hand, but I also make sure that they go to my website and they order through my website. I'll go through all of this like I said, I have a one-sheeter for you guys. If you want it, just message me on Facebook and I'm happy to get it out to you. But I really don't want to take up that much time because I know Chris is going to bring the transformation of your mind tonight. So Chris, without further ado, Chris, you want to take it over?
I sure will. Also, I wanted to have Ricky jump on real quick. I'm not sure if he can unmute or if Brittany has to unmute him. Not really sure how that works.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I sure can. Perfect.
All right. Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome to Mindset Monday. Me and Chris, guys, what I want you to do tonight is write this down. And what I want you guys to do is really take action on to doing this, okay? Tonight, okay? I don't want you to wait till tomorrow. I want you guys to do this tonight. If you don't have a mentor, I want you guys to connect to your mentor. You may say, who may that be? Hey, that could be your upline 5 levels up, 10 levels up, whoever you like the most that you want to be mentored by. I want you to reach out to that person tonight, okay? Why am I telling you this, guys? Because it's so important and vital in your business to have a mentor. There's a lot of people that join network marketing, and guess what? Their friend is super excited, and then all of a sudden they get you into the business, and then they just stop, okay? I was talking to a buddy of mine tonight that's about to be coming onto the business. He's actually on the call with us tonight, hasn't even signed up in the business, and he goes, Ricky, I've done a couple of things for these things in the past before, but I've always failed because the people that brought me into the business, they weren't a good mentor, okay? So guys, as I was talking to him about that, I was like, wow, we have mindset tonight. So let me take this out to everyone so you guys really get with your mentor. And if you don't have one, please reach out to somebody in your upline so we can help you guys. We're here to do this together. Remember, this is not the Ricky game. This is not the Maria game. We are all in unity and we're gonna rise together, okay? So guys, as I was talking to Chris tonight, I remember 4 years ago, it's been 4 years. I mean, November 8th, 2017, since we joined this amazing company. And we had a dream, me and Chris, and we talked about this. He was my mentor, right? So I was always talking to him, about what I envisioned in my life, my whole entire life. And we would talk back and forward. And this is why it's so important for you to find that person, guys, because as you go out there to the marketplace, there's always going to be haters and there's always going to be rejection. Just remember that it's going to happen. But guess what? You're never going to meet a hater doing better than you. It's just a fact. Let's just talk real stuff here, right? So guys, you have to be able to brush that off. You have to be able to reach up to your upline. Hey, this is what I did. What did I do wrong? What do you see, right? And then a lot of us have already been through it, okay? We're here to guide you through the process and help you rise to the next level, okay? So as I was talking to Chris tonight, I talk to him every day. He's my mentor, right? I said, Chris, I see you every other day going out there and basically spreading dirt on your property, okay? And I challenged him, and guys, I'm telling you this because you're going to see this happen, okay? The stuff that we talk about, we go out there and make it happen. And I want you guys to borrow my belief for a second, okay? Borrow Maria's belief. Whoever's talking on this call, I want you to borrow our belief, okay? And tie into what we're talking about. I told Chris tonight, I said, when are you gonna break ground on your house? Okay? His dream has always been, since he was a kid, since I've known the dude, to have a waterfront lot property and a house. And I said, Chris, you can talk about it all you want. And me, as his best friend, he's my upline. I said, enough talking about it. When are you gonna break ground on your house? And guess what he said? Rick, you know, you're right. I'm talking about it. I'm going out there and playing with dirt, but I haven't visualized when this is gonna happen. I have the dream, I have the land, I have the dirt, but I haven't visualized it to know when it's gonna happen. And I said, well, Chris, get ready, because we're about to go on a run to $1 billion company, not a 90-day run. We talked about this in convention. We're not gonna start and stop. We're going on $1 billion run, okay? Guess what? There's gonna be 1,000 Triple Crowns in this company whenever that happens. Who wants to be a Triple Crown? Just drop it in the chat, okay? It can't just be 1 or 2 people. It's gotta be, actually, to do the math correctly, 500 Triple Crowns. Guys, it's time to buckle up, tie into your why. Remember why you started this business and really tie it into everyone that you're talking to. Breathe life into people. Listen to people. Ask questions. Guys, I'm telling you, that's all you got to do. And one more thing I want to share. I know Chris Schweda will be breaking ground on his house by summertime, because anything that this man puts his mind into doing, it's just going to happen, okay? I just had to challenge Jim out of his comfort zone to go out there and make it happen, okay? And now you guys are going to witness this. This call is being recorded. You will tie into this call in 7 or 8 months and go, wow, I was on that call and he said he was going to do that, and he's breaking ground on his property. Why am I telling you this? Guys, because we're nobody special. We just have a dream. We write stuff down on a piece of paper. We put it all over our house on what it's going to look like. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take massive action into making that happen. How do you do that? You help your team succeed and you succeed. Remember, it's not about you. It's about the people in the journey with you that you help. And the more people you help, you'll never have to look at your bank account. Be a servant-driven leader. Guys, I'm so excited and jacked up about where we're going as a company. Everything that we've worked super hard for is right in front of us. And it's such a beautiful thing to see everything unfold the way it's unfolding. and it's all happening because of each and every one of you guys. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to my business partner as he makes his dream become a reality here by summertime. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy Mindset Monday.
So welcome, everyone. Again, for those of you that don't know me, you will find out that all kinds of stuff flows out of the mouth. Sometimes it could be slightly offensive or whatever, but normally I have so I just say some crazy stuff. That's what it boils down to. Because what you're gonna hear me talk about quite often is how we're all a little whacked out, a little nutsy cuckoo, a little something. And we want to keep these things real. We want to basically have it to where it's going to be information that you can use, that you can internalize and actually go and have value to where your life becomes better just from the information that you're going to get. And tonight we are going to break down some really good stuff. It's funny, Ricky was asking me, because he keeps asking me, when are you going to build the house? And this whole time I've been saying, I'm pushing dirt. I'm pushing dirt. Guys, I've put in probably 5 to 6 foot thick of dirt over 2 acres of property, which if I had to pay somebody to do it would have been probably close to 200,000 now based on the amount of dirt that I have. And with that, I'm sharing that because I'm going to share a little bit about how that happened. Some of you have heard, some of you haven't. I'm also going to share how consistently, whenever I visualized and internalized and emotionalized something, it just happened and it manifested. And Ricky kept asking me for the last 6 months, when are you going to build? When are you going to build? And today, as I was on the dozer, I was literally sitting there listening to a program. And guys, I've been doing personal development for 20 plus years. And some of the stuff, I've heard over and over and over, but I'll do refreshers. And right now I'm listening to Creating Magic by Jerry Clark. And what I do is I just listen. I'll listen to one, CD or whatever over and over and over and over. Like today, I probably heard this one CD 5 or 6 times, and what happens is it just embeds into the subconscious mind to where it just becomes where it's internalized, where it's not like, oh, you just heard something one time. How many of you all have heard something before, but you still might not do the thing, right? Like you heard, like you're like, oh, I'm gonna, and it's funny how we'll go out there and we'll tell ourselves all these stories like, I need to go to this training before I do it, or I need to get this before I do it, or I need this before I do it, and all that. And what I want to tell you is that you already have every seed that you need. It's a matter of you just taking action on it. And as I was listening to the program today, I was internalizing how everything and I'm going to share this and I'm going to tie it into welcome calls. And for the sake of time, we don't have time to break down all the different sides of so there's 6 basic human needs in our system. When we went over the 4-step system last week, well, part of our system is to help people feel the human needs to where from I'm trying to think of even how to word this. But we all have these needs that make us happy or not happy. And whenever one of these 6 human needs are out of whack, we're unhappy and we don't know why. So one of the things that we do on a welcome call is to help people emotionally, as well, like anchor in our system, the 4 steps into what it is that they do. So where they can get what it is that they say that they want. So I'm going to start off with this. On a welcome call, one of the things that we will do is we will ask someone, what is it that you want out of this? Like, what has you excited about what we're doing? Why did you get started? What would you like to see happen? And I'm going over these things fast, so you might want to write it down just for the sake of time, because I could literally spend an hour on just how to do a welcome call and break down what we do and why we do it and how subconsciously, because guys, everything that we do and our systems are not just, oh, go out and do this. There are actual anchors and there are things that communicate subconsciously on why we do it. So I've studied neurolinguistic programming for years. I've studied on influence and how our brains work. I've studied all this stuff. And so when we talk about systems, it's all based around the way that our brains think. And on the welcome call, our goal is to, one, help that person feel love and connection, which is one of the basic human needs. Another goal of that call is to help them recognize how going out and doing our system on how they can achieve their goal and how they can contribute to society, which contribution is another one of the human needs that we need. And guys, when one of these things are out of whack, we're unhappy and we don't even know why. Growth is another one. If you're either growing or you're dying. And when we're not growing, we're unhappy and we don't know why. So these are all things on the welcome call. What we want to do is we want to find out what it is that they want. More importantly, why do they want it? So, and then basically help them to paint a roadmap, because the thing is, and let's just go in the chat. Like, how many of you all have dreams? Yeah, some people, me, I have a dream, whatever, but have you actually written down what your dream is? Have you written down what your goals are? And have you visualized it and internalized? Because what I'm going to go over tonight is what we call, it could be your avenue to success, AVE. And A stands for affirm, affirmation. So when we were doing welcome calls in the beginning, and Ricky started talking about the beginning, I'm gonna tie it in why. But I'll tell you the story of the boat and then kind of how it all manifested. So back in 2012, I made a post. I'm into wakeboarding and wake surfing and all that stuff. And there was a boat that just came out and it was supposed to be a game changer. Like literally, it has changed the industry. People are doing tricks behind this boat that were never done before. And when I saw this boat, I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. And I was like, I will have that boat. And I literally posted a video of this boat and I was like, I'm going to have this boat one day. And see, you have to be careful sometimes what you say. So I had a boat from 2008 and 2014. I decided I'm getting another boat, because the boat I had, I'd gotten hurt on multiple times and I was afraid to do anything else. So I had certain tricks I did and I was not doing anything else. I wasn't trying new things because of fear. And fear will stop us from a lot of things in life, right? So I wasn't trying new things because I'd been hurt on that boat. And this new boat supposedly had a different wave that has this big soft landing and all that stuff. Well, at first I was looking at what was the newer version of the boat I had, which was the flagship of that company. But then they came out with this boat that I had posted in 2012 on my Facebook page. And as I started to look for new boats, because I wanted a bigger boat, and I just wanted something better, bigger, and all that good stuff, everybody that was selling the boat I was looking at were all selling it because they were buying the new boat that I posted on Facebook saying I was going to have that boat. And I kept calling up people and I'm like, so if you don't mind me asking, why are you getting rid of it? And they would tell me, because I'm getting the G23. And I was like, So then by the time I started looking at all the options that I wanted in the boat, then I ended up I was looking at 2012 models and all that stuff. And the price difference wasn't that much more or less than the boat that everybody was selling to get when I found this one boat online that was the G23. And that was in the price range that I wanted because I wanted to stay right at $100,000. And all of them were ranging 120, 150,000, whatever. It was like, and I was like, I found this one for $100,000. And so I called the guy up And I literally had the application. I was going to fill out the paperwork to take the loan for the boat and all this stuff. Well, my other boat was paid for. And I chickened out at the last minute. I said, you know what? My boat's paid for. I'm not going to go out and take a loan to go buy a boat. You know, I mean, that's almost as much as what I paid for my house originally. And I was just like, oh, this is crazy, right? And the thing is that I had a dream for a bigger, better boat. And what I recognized is that even in my dream, I was selling for less than what I wanted. And guys, this is what you have to realize, that it doesn't take any more energy to dream big than it does to dream small. Like, I mean, if you're going to have a dream, why not dream for what you want versus what you think you can afford? Because originally I was sitting there going, well, I can afford this. And your past doesn't equal your future. Where you are today does not equal where you're going to be. It's where do you want to be? Last week we talked about focus, and so many people focus on where they are, not where they want to be. So guys, I chickened out and I had my boat listed on some website. And then this was like a week later, or probably, I think it was the week prior, I was going to pull the app on the boat. I decided not to. And then I'm on Monday, I get a phone call, somebody wanting to buy my boat. And I started going, you know, I don't know if I'm going to sell it anymore. The reason why I wanted to sell it is because I wanted to get ABC boat, which was the G23. And the guy goes, well, why don't we do this? Why don't you buy my boat and I buy your boat? And I'm like, well, what do you have? A G23. And so then we're talking. And so like literally, he was going to give me full asking price for his boat, for my boat. And I was going to basically get his boat for $100,000. So it's like I'm putting down almost $30,000 on the boat. That's my down payment. I don't have to deal with selling my boat and all that, figuring out all that. And it happens to be the same boat that I pulled the application on the week prior. The same boat. It gets crazier. When I end up with the boat, okay? So I end up getting the boat and I have my dream boat. Well, I had a memory pop up on Facebook. The boat that I got was the same color scheme as the boat that was like, it was the exact same colors as the boat that I posted in 2012. This is now 2014, and it's the exact same color scheme. Well, when I called up the factory because I wanted to get something for the boat and I gave them my VIN number, they shared with me that, oh, that was the 8th one made, and that was the one that we did the videos with, and it was a pros boat, that whatever. It ended up being the exact boat that I posted on Facebook, the same boat, not the same color, not the same kind. I ended up with the boat that was in the video. The same boat that was in the video I ended up with, okay? Just crazy how when we visualize and we start to say it, and I was like saying things. So fast forward, I get sick at the end of 2015. I lost the boat in 2016. I had a bunch of equity and all that. I just gave it back to the bank. I was literally bedridden for 4 months. I was miserable in pain for almost 2 years, going through a bone infection. It took them forever to figure out exactly what was going. Now I've lost my dream boat. I've lost whatever. And basically I'd finally gotten well. I had operation on September of 2017. We launched here in December of 2017. And basically all I could visualize having a year without having the boat, which the boat's name was The Office. I live my life. If y'all watch me on Facebook at all, I'm on the boat all the time. I make calls from the boat. I'm hanging out in the boat. I was at the boat today, making calls from the boat earlier. I go out to the boat every single day, whether I take it out or not. I go sit in the boat because it's part of my happy place. Well, guys, I didn't have it for a year. And I remember when I got started back again, guys, I was 40 grand in credit card debt after being sick for 2 years. I had a $40,000 home equity line of credit that was due, and I didn't have the money to pay it off. My air conditioning's out in the house. My mortgage is late. we got rid of BMWs. We're now driving a Honda Accord and not a Honda Accord, a Honda Pilot van my wife was driving, and I had, the truck that I bought in 2012. But the long and the short of it is, when we got started here and we were doing welcome calls, I would share the story on how I was not only visualizing, but emotionalizing me having another boat. Because guys, can we all agree that paying our bills, like if, some people, like, their goal is to be debt free. Well, why would you ever set a goal to be debt free? Why wouldn't you set a goal to have a lot of money in your bank account? Because if you have a lot of money in your bank account, you're going to be debt free. Does that make sense, anybody? Like, guys, it makes more sense to say, so one of my goals was I wanted to have $100,000 in the bank because I'd never done it before. Well, guys, since we've been here, I've been able to have 200,000 in the bank at a time, which I'd never done before. But I visualized it first. And so I've had $100,000 in our account for God knows how long. And it's a great feeling knowing that when you go to the ATM, I remember it's like, is anything going to come out? But to seeing all the zeros behind it, and guys, I'm not saying this to basically brag. I'm saying this because when we were doing welcome calls and I would ask people, and I asked y'all, how many of you all dream? Because when I get on calls and I'll say, so what do you want to make? What would you like to see? And people go, well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. And guys, what we need to be is change agents. We need to be change agents to help people realize that they can start dreaming again. And our job when we're on the welcome call is to give them permission to dream if they haven't given themselves permission to dream. And I'll tell them, I'll say, look, I want to give you permission to dream again. I want to, not like they need my permission, but we have been conditioned. We're all like computers, and we've been conditioned. You're not good enough. You're not this. You're not that. All this self-talk that is negative. And it started off from outside sources of people that a lot of them didn't know better, but they told you things that created lack and limitations, and you turned off your dream mechanism, and you haven't given yourself permission to dream again. So guys, tonight, if you don't think that you're not good enough to dream, we're going to give you permission, not like you need it, but we're giving you permission to dream. And one of the questions I will ask someone when I'll say, so how much money do you want to make? Well, I don't know. I'm like, well, yeah, I know that you don't know. But if you did know a number, what would it be? Guys, it's called a possibility question. So when somebody says, I don't know, well, where would you want to live? Well, I'm not really sure. Hey, I know that you're not sure, but if you were sure, where would it be? It's amazing. Normally, it will never take more than twice to ask that question, and every single time they will come up with a number. Like I'll say, so how much money do you want to make on a part-time basis? And they might say, well, I want to make whatever it is, a couple $100, so they might say, I don't know. Or if I ask them, what is your dream income? Well, I'm not really sure what my dream income is. All right, Suzanne, I know that you don't have a dream income, but if you did have a dream income, what is that dream income? What would that be? And they'll go, I don't know. Well, I know you don't know, but if you did know, what would it be? Guys, that question is so powerful. If you did know, what would it be? And what happens is people all of a sudden, it's like a switch goes off and they start dreaming again. Well, I'd like to make an extra, it might be $5,000 or it might be $1,000. It might be, I want to be able to send my kids to private school. Well, why do you want to send your kids to private school? What does that look like? Because now what I want to do is I want to get them to start visualizing what it looks like. I want them to dream what it looks like, whether it be a house, whether it be a car, whether it be sending their kids to school. All right, Lisa, put $100,000 a year. Lisa, what I want to ask you is, what does that look like? What does it look like when you're making $100,000 a year? And I'll ask somebody, whatever their dream is, whatever their goal is on the welcome call, I'm going to say, what does that look like? Because guys, it starts off with visualization. I'm going to share a quick story with you. There was a study done where they brought in different groups of people, and they all basically had them go on a basketball court and take certain shots. And they just took random people and they put them in groups and they went out there and they had to, go out there and take shots. And what they found is they took one group and it was, I think each group was like 30 people or so. And they told that one group and they said, all right, in between now and next week, and they literally did all the percentages and figured out all this, how many percentage of the shots that they took did they make? And then what they says, I want you to go home and I want you to go practice all the next week until you come back. I want you to practice every day for at least 20 minutes and then come back next week and we're going to do it again. And they're going to figure out how much their percentages raised. And then they take another group and they just tell them, all right, next week you're going to come back and you're going to do it again. And they don't give them anything to do. And then they take the next group and they said, look, what we want you to do is for the next week, every day for 30 minutes, I want you to visualize yourself making the shots. I want you to visualize you taking the shots and the shots going in the hole. And guys, the craziest part about it is that when they came back a week later and they figured out all the percentages, the group that practiced, I think up there by like 20%, they upped their percentages on how many shots they made. The group that didn't do anything, their numbers pretty much stayed the same. And the group that visualized were within 1 percentage point away from the group that practiced for a week. They were so close that you almost couldn't even say it was any difference. And they didn't take the shots, they visualized themselves taking the shots. So guys, first you need to affirm what it is that you want. So Ricky asked me earlier, and it was the first time I ever actually just answered him. He's like, well, he was messing with me. He's like, it's about to get busy in this place. He's like, oh, you're not ready. You're not ready to build the house yet. You don't want to really get, and he's messing with me right prior to the call, right? And that's why he jumped on and shared. And he's sitting there going, when do you really want to build the house? I said, actually, I was thinking about that today. And I was like, I'm going to finish the house by the end of 2022. The house is going to be done, which means that it has to be done. It has to be getting started in the next 6 months for that to happen. And the funny part is today, like I'm working on my property, my good friend's property and another good friend's property. And because I hustled all this dirt, like dirt's coming in on all the properties. And because I made the decision, I didn't put dirt anywhere except for on my property. And I'm like, I'm building this sucker up exactly where it's going to be now. So where when I go, I'm ready to pull the trigger, there's no reasons on why I can't do it. I'm not going to be saying, well, I need to do this first, or I need to do that. It's done. It's already done. I already decided that it's happening. So basically, I've been visualizing. I know exactly what the house looks like. I have the plans. I have the plans for the boathouse. I have the plans for the workshop. I have all the plans, but I didn't decide when I wanted it by. So guys, you have to know not only where you want to go, but when do you want to be there by? And so bringing it back to the boat story, guys, when we got started here, I didn't have the boat. And I was telling everybody I was going to have a boat by March. And I remember setting the goal originally, right when I got healthy. I said, I'm going to have another boat by spring. And then I realized that spring is too, it's not clear enough. It's not definite enough. So I had to put a date on it. And I said, I will have a boat by March. And guys, what I can tell you is that when I made the decision before I even started in this company, before I even knew that this company was what we were going to do, I already made the decision. I remember setting a goal that I was going to have another boat, but I remember setting that goal going, well, my mortgage is behind. My credit is now in the 500 range. My air conditioning's out in the house. If I'm going to have a boat by March, maybe I need and my goal shrunk because I was looking at where I was, not where I wanted to be. So I had to say, this is a bunch of bull. You can finish that. And basically say that it takes the same energy to dream big than it does to dream small. What in the world is wrong with you, Chris? And I was talking to myself. Like, you're way better than that. You have to dream big. So I said, hell with that. Not only am I going to have the boat that I had, I'm going to have a newer version of it. I'm going to have the next version of it because they upgraded some things. So basically, I set that goal. So I would be doing a welcome call with somebody, and I'm asking them to dream, and I'm asking them their questions, and I'm looking at my phone, and because I'm talking to them, but my phone, I would hang it right here on my computer, and I'm talking right here, and while I'm talking to them, I'm dreaming. I'm looking up boats that I couldn't afford. I'm sitting here looking for $100,000 plus boats that I couldn't, that my mortgage was, still behind, right? Like right when we got started, I mean, we were in a bad place, and I'm looking for $100,000 boats. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, what's wrong with you? Your mortgage behind, you're looking at a boat. Guys, the reason why is because not only could I was affirming it by telling every single person I was doing a welcome call with that I was going to have a boat by March. And then what I'm doing, so I was affirming it. So guys, you have to create an affirmation on what you want. And I have a long 3-minute affirmation that I ended up writing later, but I want you to come up with a short affirmation, whatever it might be that I'm the leader people are looking for. I'm freaking amazing. Tell yourself something. So I want you to not only set a goal, but then start to visualize what kind of person do you have to be to basically have that goal happen? What kind of person do you have to become to basically have that goal, right? So you need to affirm who that person is every day, multiple times, speak it into existence. Life and death are the words of your lips. Why not speak life? So you have to affirm it. So that's the A in Avenue or Av, whatever you want to call it. The V is visualize. What does it look like? So what I was visualizing was me being on the boat, sitting in the boathouse, making my calls from the boat, watching my kids behind the boat, revisualizing the experience of what it was like, and visualizing it happening every single day. And then I was on the computer looking up boats every day, every day, every day. I'm telling you, there was anytime you turned on my computer, there was only inboards was in the background with boats on it that I was looking at. And then emotionalize. Guys, you have to, that's the E in Av. You have to emotionalize what it's going to feel like. Not just visualize it, but what it feels like when you accomplish it. Guys, if you can do this when you're sitting down with a new person and connect with them, most people, they realize that on their job, the people don't really care about them. But one, you're showing that you care about them. And you care about what their goals are and what their dreams are. You're helping them to dream again. You're helping them to say, you know what? I can do this. You're believing in them while they don't have the belief in themselves so they can borrow that belief. And then you're pouring life into them. And how do you do that? By telling your story on how you went through this and how you visualized, how you affirmed, and how you emotionalized what it is that you wanted. And guys, this in my mind, I was affirming every time I talked to people. And people thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy when I originally did it. But guys, you remember Muhammad Ali, right? He used to say, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. And in interviews, he said that he was telling himself that before he believed it. See, you have to start telling yourself and affirm that you are the greatest, that you are the leader that people are looking for, that you're one person away from a breakthrough, that you have what it takes to win, that you're the person that if you follow me, you're going to get to the promised land. And you have to affirm that in your mind and say it. See, this is the thing about the subconscious mind. It doesn't know what's real and what's not real. It only knows what you plant. And guys, we're farmers. In this business, we're planting seeds. The problem is that many times you're letting the seeds of doubt and disappointment be the seeds that grow. And guys, you don't have to, Ground doesn't care if it's a tomato seed, if it's a watermelon seed, if it's a whatever. If you have fertile ground, which you are being positive and you're thinking positive, it doesn't matter what seed that you plant. You just can't let the people plant weeds, because you don't have to have fertile ground for weeds. Weeds will grow anywhere. You don't have to sow the ground. You don't have to take care of it. You don't have to think positive to let the weeds grow, and the weeds will grow. So you have to make sure that you're sowing seeds of positivity into your life, that you're sowing seeds of purpose, that you're sowing your dream and living that in your mind. So guys, I was saying it over and over and over, and I was down to the last boat. And it's March, and we were about to pull the trigger on a boat, because I said, I'm going to have a boat by March. It's amazing how the universe works. Well, how are you going to buy a boat? Your credit sucks. Well, we made a buttload of money by going out there and launching this thing, which I had a lot of money to put down. And because of relationships, a good buddy of mine goes, dude, he kept saying, when we're going to get a boat? I'm like, dude, I don't know if my credit's going to allow me to get a boat. He goes, I have perfect credit. I don't have the money. Put it in my name. So we buy the boat in his name. Basically, we both paid half. And he goes, you don't even have to tell people I own half of it. I don't really care, whatever. You know, I'm the only one. He didn't even have a truck. He didn't have whatever. He didn't really care. He just wanted to go out in a boat. And if we need to put it in his name to make it happen, well, I mean, I took the boat over and all that stuff, and I paid everything for the last, I don't even know how many years, but it doesn't really matter. The point is see, the subconscious mind doesn't try to figure out, how is this going to happen? How is that whatever? The subconscious mind only knows what it tells you, what you tell it. So if you say, this is who I am, this is who I am, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, it only acts on what it's being told. It doesn't know real from not real. It's like, you ever heard that saying, that person lies so much they believe their own lie? Well, damn it, start lying to yourself positively. Because what will happen is you'll start believing that lie, and you'll start believing that you're way better than what you've been told. You'll start believing that you have greatness within you if you keep telling yourself that you're great. And what happens is it just manifests. I didn't ask him to do it. When you set your mind to it, it just happens. And it worked out where he's like, boom, whatever. And I had the boathouse to keep it in. I had the truck to pull it with. I paid to go get it. I put the money down and all that other stuff. And we made it happen. So finishing up the story, my wife didn't like the boat I picked. And I was going to buy this Captain America looking red, white, and blue. It was pretty. It had sparkle blue and sparkle red. And I mean, it was a pretty boat, but this is the craziest thing. So I was telling my wife, I'm like, baby, I've been looking at boats every single day. There's not a boat where like I wanted to pay a certain amount for it. There's not that year boat with that whatever. I've been looking all over. I did a random Google search, and I literally sit here and Google finds this boat on some website it's not even supposed to be on. Like it was on Yacht Trader, and it should have been on these other websites. And guys, it happens to be our company colors. Like it was literally like this blue with the gray, like, so our original wrappers of all of our stuff, it was the same color. And this boat had been listed, it started off at $110,000. They listed it because they listed in the wrong place where nobody's looking. They lowered the price down to $99,000. I call them up and I offer them $85,000. I looked at it, it was online for like 8 months, 9 months, maybe close to a year. Nobody's calling because it's in the wrong place. We came up, I got the boat for $87,500, a boat that was worth, in fact, I was at a wakeboarding thing a few weeks back. A guy offered me $120,000 for the boat that I paid $87,500 for. This is my point. Your subconscious mind doesn't know what reality is. It doesn't know how things work. It doesn't know what's real and what's not real. All it knows is what you tell it. It's time to start telling yourself great things. It's time to start affirming, visualizing, and emotionalizing what it is that you want. Ricky, thank you for challenging me. I had already decided earlier, it's done this year, coming up, it's done. It's already the platform's done, the foundation is built, and it's happening. So guys, what we're going to be doing, in the coming weeks is we're going to be going into step by step exactly how to reprogram your subconscious mind, how to create magic in your life, and how to affirm and create the things that you want. We're going to be bringing out nuggets and teach you how to actually goal set and how to do this, because we're going to be doing it right alongside you. We're going to manifest this house. We're going to make it happen. You guys are going to be a part of it, and you're going to be achieving your dreams at the exact same time. I hope you got value out of it tonight. I know we took a little bit longer than what we wanted to, like I always do, but I hope you got value out of what we shared tonight. And we're going to be giving you more of the goods. We're going to be bringing stuff to you that's going to help you to things that you can use in your life to go out there and win, to create the life of your dreams. With that being said, I love you guys. Appreciate you all. Just so you know that this recording will be up at zoomreplay.com. We put all the recordings up. The training that was done this week and what will be done on Saturday will also be there. We put everything at zoomreplay.com. It's an open website. Anybody can go there. It's just my YouTube page. So with that being said, you all have a great night. Take care. Love you guys. Rock it out.